I guess. Um, I'm not sure if you guys were aware of this, but Marjorie Taylor Greene's Twitter account was permanently banned. Um, she put forward some information, I guess, that was uh, not completely accurate about COVID. I'm not going into it. You can look it up for yourself. But someone put a question to me, that uh, they see it that banning her, they would have banned Dr. King back in the day. Uh, this is false. This is a false predication. This is a totally false. Marjorie Taylor, Dr. King was fighting for all to create a better America for everybody. Dr. King was attempting to he was attempting to make us a better country morally, to bring us to a higher level. He was a deep, profound gentleman that uh, recognized America as a warlike empire and recognized that we need to be spending this money on the communities and not on uh, dropping bombs and searching the world for monsters, as I've talked about on here before. Dr. King wasn't preaching hate. Dr. King was preaching the opposite of hate. He talked about that hate, evil can't drive out evil, that only love can drive out, good people can drive out evil and all that stuff. Dr. King was not calling for violence. Anybody that knows anything knows this, but it stands to reason. It stands to be said that uh, there's no way Twitter or anybody would have banned Dr. King for hatred or for false information. He wasn't, and I think, and maybe someone should do an alternate timeline of a pandemic during civil rights. Like how would that have, how would that have affected things? People that put forward these questions of how would certain events have affected history, and maybe that's something someone should look at. But he wasn't putting forward hate. He was simply saying, I am not an equal human being if I can't own a house. I am not an equal human being if I can't ride on the front of the bus. And that's not hate. Marjorie Taylor Greene is simply fighting for the right to be homophobic and put forward false information to push a false narrative. Her, woman Bober, Lauren Bober, they're just fighting for the right to call people a transvestite. That's it. There ain't nothing else there. There's nothing else there to respect. I see the point. I get the point that we got to respect people even if we don't like them. We don't agree with them. We have to respect them. I get that. I understand that. But you can't compare. And it's also, it's disrespectful to Dr. King's memory. It's disrespectful to look at someone who took, I mean, there was a speech he did where someone came up and started beating him over the head. He didn't get him arrested. He just talked to him. There's several times he was assaulted. His house was firebombed. He didn't allow hate to enrage him to commit a harmful act. He was willing and destined to die with dignity and with honor and with integrity. Um, that's not the same thing as just wanting to slur people. He was fighting for a certain moral and ideological uh, way of life. He was a Christian. He was a minister. He was a Christian, and he was walking the love walk. He was walking with love in his heart. And I think that if you read his books and you read his sermons and all, that's what you get. This is a man of profound understanding and of love, and someone that says, I'm not going to allow your hatred and your viciousness to fill me full of hate and to make me a hateful person, because then you've won. I get it. I get the point. But every time you bring up his name to make a point like that, you cheapen it. You cheapen his name. You cheapen the fight. I'm not lionizing King. King made some mistakes. He slept around. He did things he shouldn't have done. I'm certainly not saying he's without blemish. But it's in that love walk. It's in that it's in that wish to have a peaceful movement, a movement that is about enlightenment and awakening people. It's in that he should be remembered, and not in comparing him to thugs and criminals who simply want to question science and just throw a wrench into the gears of anything that moves in government. They're simply trying to obstruct government and obstruct government agencies at every corner, at every avenue, every juncture. It's not logical. Thanks for listening.